Hello everybody, welcome back. Sport Federation TV, nice to have you along. We're talking about sport in the province, sport in the Cape Town area, sport in South Africa. Of course, you know that we do focus on our national codes that are part of the SASCOC structure. And of course, some of our sports codes, in fact, go to the Olympics. But for those of you that have not been watching the show, may be a first time then for you, but one of the codes that we've spoken to many times is, of course, equestrian sports. Now, equestrian sports is made up of multiple sport codes. Gymkhana, show jumping, equitation, tent pegging, endurance riding, mounted archery, multiple sport codes in equestrian. And today we've got two of our top athletes in the Western Cape in studio with us, Rebecca Hudson-Peacock and Annabelle Noakes-Dobson. Rebecca, Annabelle, welcome, Sport Federation TV.
Thank you for having us.
First time for you guys here.
Yes.
Just to make sure that you haven't been on the show before.
No.
All right, let's start off with you, Rebecca. You heard me talk about all those different codes in equestrian. Which is your one?
So I do equitation and show jumping.
All right.
I had a really great show at our South African champs recently in both equitation and the show jumping, so it was amazing.
Annabelle, and your speciality?
Mine is show jumping, but I
jump.
also do a little bit of dressage on the side.
Okay, so there's show jumping, there's equitation and dressage that we have to explain now to the people watching, because not everyone understands. So just start for me at the beginning, Rebecca. Equitation, what does that mean? What do you do?
So equitation is a bit of dressage and show jumping, but how I would describe it mainly is judging the ride on how you ride the horse.
Okay.
So you first do a test on your own horse, and you show your schooling with your horse and how you work with them. And then you swap onto someone else's horse in the class.
Yeah.
And at my South African champs, actually the first two placings were close enough to qualify for part 4, and you get a mystery horse then.
So they're not looking so much at the horse, they're
No.
looking more at the rider.
Yeah, definitely.
What if the horse makes a mistake? Does the high rider get punished?
Yeah, almost it does, because it's like you weren't working with your horse properly, or you didn't prepare properly.
Okay, so Annabelle, on your side then, what's the difference between equitation and show jumping?
So show jumping, it's kind of more time, like speed. It depends if you can jump all obstacles that they have set in the arena clear and faster than all your opponents.
So is that the main thing? That's one of the things we see. Do they do jumping over the obstacles in equitation as well?
Yes,
Okay.
but you have to ride it very neatly.
Right. So in your case, is it the rider and the horse that's being judged, or is it all about the obstacles?
It's all about the time and obstacles.
Okay. So do you think that show jumping is more physical than equitation? Not really?
No.
No? Okay. So tell me a little bit, Rebecca, from an equitation point of view, how do you guys train? How do you go about that? I mean, you must spend quite a lot of time preparing for this.
Yeah, no, you do. I have been doing equitation my whole life, and I think you need to kind of grow up in the way of equitation, because you have to be very neat. You have to be working with your horse constantly. You have to know them very well.
Yeah.
And
do you have to spend a lot of time with your horse, feeding it and washing it and so on?
I think that goes for every discipline, definitely. I think all disciplines have to spend a lot of time with their horse on the ground.
Okay.
And building a relationship.
Yeah, yeah. And on your side, Annabelle, is it the same for you?
Yeah, it's always so you can gain the horse's trust, so they want to do more for you.
Okay. So how do you go about that then? I mean, what does that look like for you guys? I mean, you say you've got to wash the horse. Do you have to go down with buckets and mops and things?
Thankfully, we have hose pipes, and you can use some shampoo or whatever you use on your horse to wash them.
You actually spend the time with your horse, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, even if it's just like going down to there, or just going down to the stables for a quick visit and a cuddle.
Right. A quick visit, okay. So Rebecca, on your side then, when did you start riding? How did it start for you? You're now at a provincial level, at a national level. How did you get started?
My mom actually always had horses on the property, and I had an older sister who had a pony, which I got onto after her, or with her kind of at the same time. I was sat on a horse at months old, so really from the beginning,
And on your side, Annabelle, what was it that got you started?
My mom used to ride for fun, and she had this like little horse called Pancakes, and she just put me on him, and it all started from there.
And that was it. So what was your first competition then that you did for show jumping?
I can't quite remember actually. Probably just a fun, not graded show.
Okay, all right. So you've had a couple of big competitions recently. Let's stay on the show jumping for a little bit. You're proudly wearing, obviously, the Western Cape colours there. What does that look like from a provincial point of view? How do you guys compete, and is it at national level?
So for the open teams, you have all provinces have a team, and then there's this big competition called the team competition. So all riders, there will be 4 riders from each province and a reserve, if there are enough people for a reserve.
Yeah.
Then normally all 4 riders jump the first course and then go into a jump off.
So do you have to take your horse together with other horses and load them up and go somewhere to compete?
Yes.
Okay. And is that in a full day or a couple of days competition? How does it
Over
work?
a couple of days normally, over a week or so.
Over a week or so. That's quite a big trip then that everybody has to make, and you've got to think about feeding your horse. And tell me, how do you plan and work with your horse then for over a couple of days?
So we'll normally send them up 3 or 4 days before the show starts and get them all settled. And obviously, because of the climates and everything, they have to acclimatize. So we go up there, we make sure they have, if you go to Joburg for an example, they normally stop off overnight just so they can rest and stretch their legs before the longer part of the journey. Then when they get there, you just ride them and make sure they're all good, no sicknesses, and make sure they're all hydrated.
Right. Now, Rebecca, on your side, you've got show jumping and equitation that you work on. How do you choose which competitions you want to participate in?
So they'll normally happen at separate competitions. So I'll plan a certain weekend for an equitation show or a show jumping show.
Do they ever overlap where you are double booked?
So at our big SA champs, obviously they'll overlap. You have a whole bunch of different disciplines over a week or 2 that you can choose from. But as our normal day-to-day shows or weekend-to-weekend shows, it won't overlap.
So when you're competing in, say, for example, the equitation, and we're going to talk about some of your competitions and tournaments and so on, both of you, in a minute or so, but when you're competing in equitation, how does that look from an organization point of view? Does it start on the Friday, get going early on Saturday morning scenario?
Oh, so, normally we'll just have 2 classes on one day, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on how the show's planned.
Okay.
It's normally for our normal shows that aren't, our big interprovincial shows. It'll just happen over one day.
I've been down to the Stellenbosch Riding Club to see, I don't know if you guys were there or not, but there were definitely horses in lots of different places, and there were lots of cars and lots of people. Is that a full day of activity for people that are competing, and are they doing different codes, equitation and show jumping and gymkhana and so on?
So for the big shows, you'll have different classes, and there'll be some on the same day with different disciplines.
So you're sharing the facilities on the day?
Yes.
Okay.
But for the normal shows, you'll have it separated. You'll have a dressage show at one venue on the one weekend, and maybe even on the same weekend, you'll have show jumping at a different venue. But I wouldn't say they normally clash very much.
Annabelle, who's the top provinces? If it's not Western Cape that's dominating, then who are the tough guys out there? We'll talk about some of your competitions in a second, but when you travel and you go competing, who do you have to look out for?
Definitely Gauteng. All their riders are very strong and they do know how to go very fast.
Really? Is that the thing, is that they got to have speed in their event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what they do,
What is it then? What do you think? Why would Gauteng be so strong?
I think they do have a very good group of coaches up there, and they have very good horses up there as well. And for example, if you're competing in Joburg, there definitely is a home advantage.
All right. We're going to be talking about some of the events that are coming up. So guys, don't go away. We've got a few more minutes with you. We're going to talk about some of your provincial events, your national events, so lots to talk about. So folks, if you are watching the show right now, don't go away. We're talking about equestrian sport in the Cape Town area, in the Western Cape area. We've got in studio with us Rebecca Hudson-Peacock. She's a equitation and show jumping specialist. And Annabelle Noakes-Dobson, also in studio with us, and she is more of a show jumping specialist. So lots to find out about the world of equestrian sports and how they compete and where they compete. And we're going to be highlighting some of their international events and local events in a second. I've got all this paraphernalia with me that I've got to get explained. Back in a sec, don't go away.